Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking November favorites. This is the video where I share with you all of the skincare and beauty products that made a huge impression on me this month. So if you're so ready to get into the picks, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. So first up is Stratia Lipid Gold Eye Cream. Are you surprised? Probably not. If you are out of the loop, Stratia recently released their Lipid Gold Eye Cream. So this is a sister product to Lipid Gold or Liquid Gold, which you've been hearing me rave about since 2018. It's been a minute, right? Just like the sister product Lipid Gold, which is like a lotion serum hybrid for your face, Lipid Gold Eye Cream is focused on your skin barrier with ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. As the season gets darker and colder and my skin gets drier, I really need those ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. And this extra boost around the eye area is so helpful. They've also added in some petrolatum, and that is not in the original serum lotion hybrid. That is actually one of the only things about Lipid Gold that I don't love, is that it's just not super occlusive for me. And that works out absolutely fine because I layer it underneath another moisturizer. Like, trust me, I've made it work. I've never stayed so consistent with one skincare product for so many years. I absolutely love it. But that is one thing that I always say, it kind of lacks occlusivity. The eye cream has some petrolatum added into it, which is just enough to really help hug in all of that moisture and emolliency and help to protect the eye area from moisture loss. The skin around your eye is a lot thinner, it's a little bit more delicate, and that's why it's more prone to moisture loss or hydration loss, and more prone to the breakdown of collagen, right? So I think it was a really smart move to add that into the eye cream formula. They've also added in, speaking of collagen peptides. So it helps to stimulate some collagen production around that eye area, which can be more prone to showing the fine lines and wrinkles and the collagen structure breakdown a lot sooner. So I love that they've included peptides specifically for that purpose. There is no niacinamide in the eye cream formula. The original does have 4%. The eye cream doesn't have any. And one other change is the addition of 3 special ingredients that are meant to target darkness in the eye area. And it was really interesting diving into the ingredients list because I was not familiar with these ingredients, and the way that they target pigmentation around the eyes is, I think, very different. So the eye area, as I mentioned, the skin does behave different than the rest of the skin on your face. That's not a marketing gimmick. It is true. The skin is thinner and it's highly vascular. And so the pigment that makes your blood red can sometimes accumulate under the skin. And because that eye area skin is thinner, that pigment can show through that thin skin. And that might be one of the causes for the darkness underneath your eyes. Everybody's dark circles are different, right? So this is treating a very specific cause for that. When that pigment pulls up underneath the eyes, that's where we get the darkness. The 3 ingredients that they've included in the Lipid Gold Eye Cream help to facilitate the flushing of that pigment, the release of that pigment so it's no longer there. And that's what helps to brighten the under eye area. But I will say why this has made a difference for me over the last couple of months, it's the barrier care. Because I do get so dry around my under eye. I have been slathering petrolatum around, just pure 40% petrolatum with CeraVe healing ointment all around my eyes at night because they were just getting so dry. And since I started using this, I'm not really compelled to do that anymore. Sometimes I will, but if I forget a night, I'm not like, oh no, I forgot a night. I'm like, whatever. My eye area is still hydrated and moisturized and plump. And I know my barrier is nice and strong underneath there. So if that sounds like your concerns, you need a nice rich eye cream that's not too heavy, because I didn't touch on the texture. This is slightly thicker than the serum lotion Lipid Gold face product. The eye cream has a little bit more stiffness to it because of the petrolatum, but it still applies in a nice thin layer that quickly absorbs a good amount of moisture. In here there's some oil and some emollients that really help to nourish the skin, but it's not a thick kind of cream that like makes your skin feel thick. It's not so moisturizing at the top that if you put some concealer or something on top of it, it's gonna like slide all over your face or collecting creases. It's not that type of thick and rich eye cream. So a really nice light texture, highly moisturizing, very skin repairing, a little kiss of occlusivity to hug everything in, but really good absorbency, and it's not overly greasy. So they really worked that texture out to just the right kind of layer for the eye area. And I'm really enjoying it. The only thing, because I always have to add in a con if there is one, I don't love the packaging. This little mini airless pump bottle, you have to be very careful about the amount that you're dispensing from the pump. If you did a full pump, it's going to be way too much. You're going to run out of the eye cream a little bit too soon. So just if you do have this, be very like precise. You'll learn as you go how much you really need, but I do find sometimes I put in a little bit too much, and I think that's just due to this not being in a tube, but being in this airless pump that wants to push out a little bit more product than you might need for your under eye area. So next up, I want to talk about a hair care product. Oh yeah. You know, I get a lot of questions about hair care, and I do have a few videos about what products I use for my hair. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I usually repeat the same products with my hair. I don't change things up too much. Like if it works, like, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? That's kind of my motto when it comes to hair care. But recently I've been a little bit more interested to try what's out there. Now, when I was getting my hair colored and trimmed by my stylist a couple of months ago, a few appointments ago, she used a new product on me, like a hair mask that really conditioned my hair. And so I was asking her about the product, and it was from a brand called DesignMe, and it was a gloss mask. And I was like, well, that's really interesting because my hair feels amazing. And you know, when you go to the salon and they put all those like special products on your hair and you're like, oh yeah, this feels so good. And then, you know, you go home and you wash your hair, and after you've washed it and used your own products and dried it and everything, you're like, my hair went back to feeling the way it did before I went to the salon. I'm like, how do they do that? How do they always make your hair feel so good? And so that's always been my experience. But when she used this mask on me for the first time, I was like, oh yeah, it feels good. It looks good. It looks shiny. I believe in the gloss of this mask. And I washed my hair a few days later, and I was like so surprised at how soft and silky my hair still felt after using my regular products. I didn't use the gloss mask. I didn't have it. But I was like, wow, my hair still actually feels really moisturized, really healthy, really silky and manageable. And I know it was whatever those products that she put on my hair were before. So I was like, all right, I got to try this mask. This is making my hair feel like insanely good. So I did order the product. I actually got a little bundle of their products. It was a pretty good deal on DesignMe. But I did specifically look for the gloss mask because I was like, this is it. This is the product. And this is really easy to use. So you just replace your conditioner with this like once a week. That's all I've been using is just once a week. I don't use it every single hair wash. Put it into your hair and then let it sit for like 5 minutes. So I'll just like clip my hair up and do something else while it sits on my hair and then rinse it. Super duper easy, just like a regular conditioner. But it makes your hair feel amazing. So it makes your hair a lot shiny. I think my hair is a lot shinier. You can really see the lights bouncing off of my hair. It really moisturizes and conditions your hair, really makes it so much more manageable. I'm just surprised at like how silky my hair has been from having added this into my weekly hair care routine. It really helps keep my ends in shape. They're so prone to not only being dry, but they're really prone to damage, to being split, just I think partly due to having longer hair. You're just going to see a lot more damage manifest at the ends because they're getting all rubbed around on your clothes and when you're sleeping and things like that. So I always see a lot of damage manifest on my ends, and I feel like this time around in between, you know, hair trims, my hair has been in much better condition, the ends especially, than they are usually in the past. And I'm really chalking it up to the mask. There's just something really special about this. And going into the colder months, I'm always talking about how dry my skin gets during this time. Well, it's the same for my hair. You know, the hair often acts as like an extension of the skin in a way, especially like the scalp too. But if your hair needs a lot of moisture, something like this might really help you out. I really wanted to talk about it because I have not really come across a hair care product that makes my hair feel good even when I'm not using it. Does that make sense? Because I only use this once a week. I wash my hair maybe 3 times a week. So there's a couple washes in between me using this, and my hair still feels silky and manageable. It still has that softness and that moisturization. Now, there is one other thing I want to talk about when it comes to hair care that I've recently implemented that has been making a big difference for my hair care routine, and that's a silicone scalp brush. I picked this up at Sephora at the beginning of October. Maybe the middle of October. I don't know. It was a while ago. But I picked this up at Sephora. It is silicone, so it's nice and soft. The bristles aren't hard. They will move. But they also won't like stick to your hair either. I was afraid, I was like, is this gonna like pull my hair? But no, it absolutely just like runs through your hair really nicely, even without product. But the way that you use this is in the shower or the bath. This helps you lather up your shampoo and really helps you scrub your scalp with the product. And that's something I really, really have been needing, because it is really hard with longer, thick hair to really get into the middle of the scalp, because there's so much hair blocking it, and getting underneath and lifting under there is just like exhausting for your arms, you know, and it's hard to get a good lather back there. And so I started using this, and it really helps. I am getting to spots I normally miss and that don't get cleansed super well, but I'm also lathering the shampoo a lot better, which means I'm actually not using as much product or wasting as much shampoo, and really being able to work this in and get a really good clean on my scalp. And because I'm getting a better clean at the roots and at the scalp, I don't have as much buildup on my hair, which means I have a lot more natural volume and fluffiness to my hair just from implementing this, not changing any like shampoo or anything like that. So next I want to talk about the Naturie Hatomugi Skin Conditioning Milk. And so this is actually something that I've been wanting to try for a super long time, and I finally have my hands on it, and it's everything I wanted it to be and more. So this is actually a J Beauty brand, Naturie. And, I find in J Beauty, there's a whole new language you have to learn when it comes to J Beauty products. And I think that that's why they haven't taken off in as much popularity the way that K Beauty has. I think there's actually a couple of reasons for that. This is just one of them. But the language around J Beauty products is different than the language that we're used to generally in skincare. So a lot of times toners, those more watery format products, are called lotions in J Beauty products. That was like the first time I ever got into J Beauty. I was like, what do you mean lotion? No, it's a toner. And oftentimes the word milk is used to refer to an emulsion. And emulsions, unless you're deeply into Asian beauty or the 10-step like K Beauty routine, emulsions are really kind of a confusing category of product. So way back when everybody was talking about that 10-step skincare routine, right? One of the steps in a 10-step routine was to use an emulsion. And usually that product would be in between, it would be right after a serum, but prior to your moisturizing cream or lotion. And that's where an emulsion would go. I find that they've fallen out of favor quite a bit in K Beauty products. They're still at large in J Beauty, but I feel like less K Beauty brands are creating their own emulsions. They're still out there, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I feel like they used to be bigger like 10 years ago, and they're less of a thing now. So all of that to be said, this is the conditioning milk. This is technically the emulsion version. There is a lotion version, which is a toner. Are you following me? I know, it's so confusing. So what I'm saying is there's 2 versions of this product. One is more watery. That is not the one that I'm holding in my hands. The one I'm holding in my hands has a thicker texture to it. It is creamy, but it's actually surprisingly very hydrating though too. It has, those thick toners that like really get in there and plump your skin up and tint it out from underneath. This actually does that while having a really nice kiss of moisture to it as well. So I know a lot of you have been correcting me and saying that's not a toner, Kelly, but the way that I personally like to implement this into my routine is like a second toner. So one of the techniques that I use for hydrating and moisturizing my skin in the winter months is what I call a toner sandwich. And that's where I use a lighter, really watery type of toner, true toner, right? Hydrating toner first, right after washing my skin. And I'll put on maybe 1 or 2 layers of that really watery, hydrating, quickly absorbed type of toner, right? Really light on the skin. And then what I'll do is the sandwich method, where I'll really hug all of that hydrating toner in by using a toner or an essence or an emulsion, right? With a thicker texture. And that's really the key to the toner sandwich method, is something with more heft, more body, more plumpness to it, maybe even some moisture. And that can come in a lot of different types of products. It doesn't have to be as thick as this, but there's something about that more bodied, thicker type of texture layered on top that really helps to hug all that hydration in. It helps your skin to resist the dehydration, but it also really plumps your skin up too, which is something I'm craving in the winter. My skin doesn't always feel plump and hydrated in the winter, right? It feels dry and dehydrated. And so this toner sandwich method can really make my skin feel so much more comfortable, but so much more hydrated and juicy too. So that's how I like to use this. I'll put a watery toner on first, I'll use this, and then I'll add in my serum. And it really adds in so much hydration, so much plumpness, so much moisture. It really makes my skin feel incredibly balanced. Because in the winter, which we're basically there, right? Technically the calendar doesn't say winter, but honestly for me, winter starts like right after Thanksgiving. But in the winter time, my combination skin leans dry. I'm not classically dry. I still have some combination concerns, and I still need a lot of that balance with my skin. It's just I need a lot more moisture than the rest of the year. And this is just that product that adds the balance. So I really enjoy it. It's quite thick. It may not work for everybody. It may not work the way that I'm personally saying it works for me. Emulsions are very, very multi-purpose. You could even use them as a light moisturizer. This truly could be a last layer for some people if you don't seek for occlusivity, that really like hug it in at the end of your routine. This would be a good product for you to try out. If you just need a kiss of moisture, you can use it towards the end of your routine, the beginning of your routine. It's flexible. So I wanted to put that out there because I don't really adhere to a lot of skincare rules, and oftentimes the names don't mean anything anymore anyways. So I like to invite a little bit more playfulness and exploration with skincare, and this has been really, really helping my skin as a second toner in my routine. It makes my skin feel so plump, so juicy. It's really moisturizing. It's very affordable. If you haven't tried it, it's been on your mind. It was everything I expected it to be and more. Next up, I want to talk about an oldie, but a goodie. It's the La Roche-Posay Lipikar AP Plus Triple Repair Moisturizing Cream. Now, this is something that has technically not been a monthly favorite. I was actually shocked to find that out. I had to go through all my old videos to see if I had talked about this in one of the monthly favorites from like 2019 or 2020. I hadn't, surprisingly. It's been a favorite of mine. I've talked about it a lot over the years, but technically, this is its first time being named a monthly favorite. But the reason why I wanted to talk about it today in this month's video is because I've been using it a little bit differently than I normally do. So normally I will pick this product up as a body moisturizer. It is incredibly rich. It is so nourishing, and I have very dry body skin all year round, especially in the winter, but all year round. So I usually like a very moisturizing cream for my body skin, and this fits the bill. This is, by the way, one of those face and body products, so don't worry too much about, can I use it on my face or can I use it on my body? Of course you can. And so that's how I normally use it. And in the wintertime, when my skin really feels dry and is ailing, I will sometimes use a little bit of this in my drier areas. And you've heard me talk about this through the years. I'll say this is for very dry skin, which isn't always appropriate for my skin. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming. Sometimes it causes some whiteheads for me. So I don't usually use this on my face that much. That was the past. This month, though, fast forward to present day, my skin is so dry. So dry. The temperatures have been, I think I've said this the last like 2 favorites in a row. The temperatures here have been very up and down. The fluctuations have been rather extreme. We've had some 30-degree days. We've had some 65-degree days. In November, that's not the normal. It's the new normal, but it's very strange. And that kind of fluctuation with the temperatures is just really throwing my whole body off, but especially with my skin. And so I feel like this shift into winter is less of this gradual, like, skin's getting drier, it's getting drier, it's getting drier, it's getting dry. It's winter, it's dry. It's going like dry, even more dry, like in your face. I'm like, oh, my skin is ailing so much. I've had to make my skincare routine very simple this month. I actually had to stop testing some new products just because I could not figure out the balance with my skin for a while. But one of the products that helped me get the balance back this month was this moisturizer. I started to use this instead of CeraVe because my skin was feeling so dry and tight in the middle of the day. It's like the CeraVe wasn't quite enough. It wasn't quite occlusive. It wasn't holding everything in place. And so I was like, oh yeah, this is really thick. This is really moisturizing. It's very healing kind of formulation too. And so I started using this as my moisturizer morning and nighttime, and my skin feels so much better. Honestly, like on the first use, I was like, yep, this is what my skin was craving. I didn't realize it right away. And I'm glad that I stayed open to that, because I was like, this is something that has caused me whiteheads in the past because sometimes it is too much for my skin. But trying it out now, when my skin really needs this amount of moisture, I'm not getting those whiteheads now like I was before. That could be just due to, like I said, what my skin is craving right now. But it could also be due to just, different factors. Age can make your skin more dry, just changes, right? And so this has really been helping me out. So I wanted to mention it as something that has been working for my face. So November has been a really interesting month because I have been feeling the pull of the new year, the energy of 2024 starting now. Like in the middle of November, all of a sudden I was like, I can feel the new year energy. And I started thinking about all of the things that we think about when it comes to the new year. And, I'm thinking like New Year's resolutions, right? Like, because the new year is that invitation to start fresh, to clear the slate, right? To press reset, and to really, it's the invitation for us to reflect on how do we want to improve? How do we want to evolve and become better versions of ourselves? But I also have to say, December is such a busy month, right? We all have so much going on. There's so many gatherings and parties and holidays and New Year's and time off and vacations. And like, there's just like a whole different like mindset when it comes to December, that by the time we hit January 1st, that New Year can hit us and we're like, whoa, New Year's resolutions. What do I want to change? What do I want to do? Like, how do I want to press reset? And sometimes we're so burnt out that we're just like, why even bother? And I think that the invitation to engage in that now, I think is actually really smart. So that's really what I want to recommend to you, is maybe take some time now before, I know it's starting to get busy already, but before it really starts to get busy, dedicate some time to what it is you want to achieve next year. How do you want to work on yourself? What are the goals that you want to achieve? How do you want to nourish your body? Do you need to adjust your self-care? Do you need to adjust things for your health? What are those changes and those goals? What are the things you want to bring with you? But what are the things you want to leave behind? So that when the calendar says January 1st, you're already working on those goals. Nothing magic happens when the calendar changes to January 1. It's always up to us. Like, the magic is inside of us, right? And so set yourself up for success. If you have some time now, think about it now. Journal on it, or really just spend some time, maybe doing some actual decluttering, but taking it on energetically as well, and thinking about those things so that you are ready to go. You are already miles ahead of everybody else. So now I want to hear from you. How was your month? Were there any lessons that you learned? And of course, what were your favorite products from November? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video and you stayed through the whole thing, you liked the skincare and the self-care, but you haven't hit subscribe, please, I would be so honored if you would come join our community. If you love skincare, K-beauty products, gentle skincare products, ingredient deep dives, that's what my channel is all about, with a healthy sprinkling of self-care too. So come join our community, turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop, because I'm super active here on YouTube. Every single week I do release a lot of new content. So hit notifications so you always get your skincare fix. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world. I can't wait to see you in the next video, and I love you so, so much. Thanks for being here with me today.